Well, most of us have only one story to tell. And I don't mean that only one thing happens all our lives. Of course not. There are countless events which we turn into countless memories, or rather stories. But there's only one that matters the most. Only one finally worth telling. And that one, somewhere, somewhat, somehow, comes here. Ladies and gentlemen, and each one of you out there, welcome to the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories brought to you by ETH. My name is Mithun Upadhyay. Delighted on a festivities time, we have a very special guest who is a nominee at Padma Bhushan Award for 2022, an innovator, industrialist, and CEO at Quasarian Innovations Private Limited. Please welcome Sumit Ranjan. Hi Sumit, welcome to Cutting Chai
Hi.
Stories.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me here, Nitin.
It's so delightful to have a Padma Bhushan nominee with us, and your story has been quite interesting, and we are very delighted to have you on with us on our episode today. So let's just breeze back. Let's just go back to the early days. हम आज की बात बाद में करेंगे, हम कल की बात करेंगे, कल से शुरुआत करेंगे जहां से कहानी की शुरुआत हुई थी, जहां से इसका स्टार्ट हुआ था, उत्पन्न हुआ था. तो आप बताइए कि स्कूल आपकी कहाँ थी, बचपन कहाँ बीता था आपका, और कैसा था आपका बचपन, इसके बारे में बताइए.
So when I was a child, I was staying with my maternal uncle, and I was studying in Sri Ramakrishna Sarda Ashram, Vivekanand Central School of Hazaribagh City. It's a
अच्छा.
small town in Jharkhand, and that is where my ideas started flourishing, and that's the same place where I started Quasarian. So when I was studying in my class 6, I was highly motivated about space and cosmology. So back then, I wanted to become a cosmologist, but I was highly enthusiastic about the way politics and the way people, the structure of people works. So I was interested about influencing them up, about somehow like a childhood dream of controlling the crowd. So I was somehow fascinated by the cartoons and etc. I coined this term Quasarian. So the people who belongs to a quasar. These are the highly energetic cosmic bodies. And I somehow managed to motivate some of my co-students about this Quasarian term, and started a small community kind of stuff with it. So I used to work with the same Quasarian gang in the school, like some innovator crowd, and we used to do lots of scientific stuffs, making different gadgets and exploring scientific biographies of the great people like Newton, like Einstein, Rutherford, etc. And we used to imagine their lifestyle, and we used to copy them up. So I still remember when I was studying in my class 7. Back then, I was studying a story about Sir Isaac Newton. I was highly fascinated that he was a student studying in Cambridge, but he was competing himself with René Descartes. René Descartes is a great mathematician who gave us the Cartesian system of coordinate geometry. So being a student, he was competing with the great mathematician of that era. And the same endeavor we were trying to imbibe in ourselves. So we started studying the books written by I. Irodov, and some books by Sir Albert Einstein. So back then I got to know about theory of relativity. And I studied it a lot when I was studying in class 7th. It was becoming a good hype in my community, in my school, and in the local university also, that a student of class 6, 7 is studying this kind of stuffs. But teachers were highly supportive. They got highly supportive. Even the media also got attracted towards my work. Back then, I managed to coin one theory that is called the theory of constant light speed. So that is the theory about why the light always travels at the same speed. So back in 1902, Sir Albert Einstein coined this, that light travels at a constant speed, and he took it as a postulate for his theory. Postulate is the accepted term, like in the East. nobody questioned why it rises and why it sets in the west. So the same way, light travels at this constant speed. This is the greatest speed ever. So I managed to give the reason behind it, that why the speed of light is always constant. So this was the start in my entrepreneurial career, like in my innovator career. So this is how I started, and when I came in class 11, then I published it, and the theory got accepted. So this is how it all started rolling.
That's so interesting, Sumit. In fact, you know what? Your story, early day story, sounds like a scientific cinematic story. It's got everything that blends into what a superhit cinema can be. Early days may trying to, learn new things and just not learn, but invent. And with what you spoke right now, it gives me a clear-cut idea about how much you have read. You are a clear, good reader in terms of what you, and that talks about the knowledge you have. And I was so happy listening to the fact that what you're an amazing reader. You have learned well. You have kind of grasped so much from the past. So it's just a fact or it's a rumor, but is it true that you were dropped out of school? Are you a school dropout and still managed to be who you are at this current scenario?
Yeah, what happened in my class 11, I was, when I talk about my family background, so I hail from a very small village in Bihar. And because there were no education facility here, I was studying with my maternal uncle by staying with them. And the same problem due to the finances started happening with me. And when I reached in class 11th, I was asked to go to a government college. So initially, I was studying in the CBSE background, and I was asked by my family that I have to switch to the government college.
Okay.
This was very very frustrating for me. But on the same day, it happened. Something miraculously it happened that a scientist from California came to my school. His
Oh
name was
wow.
Dr. Alok. Yeah, Dr. Alok Chaturvedi. So he came to my school, and my principal called me up to discuss with that scientist. So the scientist got highly impressed with me, and we managed to make a very good bond together. And he recommended my principal that we should keep this guy in our school. And my school authority offered me free ship if I get to study in that school, so they will not charge me anything up.
Oh
I did
wow.
not tell them
Wonderful.
about the circumstances, but this was a kind of, you say, a very good thing that happened, like a miracle with me, for me.
Right.
So I started studying in the same school, but when I was thinking about the future, like what will happen after 12th. So till 12th, I got the freshman, but after 12th, I got to go to some engineering college or somewhere, because initially I was thinking about going to Stanford University. This was my dream. But my marks, when it comes to mathematics, scoring in mathematics, it was very poor. Like,
Okay.
yeah, in 10th, I scored 94%, but still, like to the level of Stanford, it was not that good.
True. True.
Because they require a very high percentage.
Right. Right.
So so I had no, I could not see anything like in the coming future. But in the, but nearby, you see, administration, the district collectorate, etc. Like, were very very supportive for me. The local government was very supportive for me. So they wanted to give me fellowship money for everything. But I myself decided that after studying this much, what is going to happen? So I'm going to pursue for some job worth 40,000, 50,000, or maximum 70,000 rupees per month. So this
Right.
is something which is not going to fulfill the dreams. So when it's about earning money, there are many possibilities, especially when you are an innovator.
True. True.
I could see that there is a very good opportunity of marketing with me, because local media was very much impressed with me, and they used to write 2 3 articles a month about my story and everything. So I decided to start a company, and I was knowing that like when it gets covered in multiple media, this is going to be a very big shot in a very short span of time. So I started it without capital initially. I
Okay.
came. I got to meet one of my co-founder back then in 2006, 2015. CA Suraj Dikshit. So we collaborated together, and idea was mine, and he was doing the initial funding, and we together started this company Kosarian back in 2015. In 2016, I got incorporated by moving to Delhi.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
yeah. So coming back to your question about being a dropout. So in 2016, I took a dropout from by no no in sorry in September 2015, I dropped out from schooling, but still I was forced by my parents to continue the schooling till 12th. So I did not go to the classes, but I sat in the 12th exam. Though I did
Wow.
not perform good there, like out of like in my 10th I scored I think 93 or 94 marks in mathematics. In 12th I scored 0.9 marks in mathematics. Because this
Well,
is
what?
something I did willingly. My parents asked me to give a that's called a complimentary, or I don't know, like improvement exam for class 12. But I did not decide. I did not sit in that improvement exam, and I completed my dropout journey. And this is from where I started this all. Yeah.
कभी कभी कदम हम खुद बढ़ाएंगे, खुद आगे आगे लेकर जाएंगे, बाकी भरोसा है भगवान का, हमें संपूर्ण रास्ता दिखाएगा. आई थिंक वन ऑफ दोस लाइंस इज ऑल अबाउट यू कि इट्स नॉट द वे यू वांट टू वॉक द पाथ, इट्स अबाउट वे यू वांट टू वॉक द पाथ. And you did that, and it's almost like living a dream that you have not dreamt, but you have thought about it and you're just going about it. And it's all working in your favor. It's a very interesting story about early life from a small town, Hazaribagh, Jharkhand में आपकी पैदाशी है, वहां से फिर आप दिल्ली आ चुके हैं और सफर बहुत ही सुहाना रहा है, काम बहुत हो रहा है, a lot of things happening. So what is it ahead? Now you are one of those youngest leaders, being a young CEO. How does it feel? How does it feel to meet CEOs who are maybe double your age?
Uh, it is a challenging task because in the initial days, words like CEO, CFO, CO, etc. sounds very fancy. But when responsibilities come on your head, when you have too much of burden of other people, families, and about of your employees, and about the other expenses, then it gets very hectic. And of course, you don't have much people around you with whom you can discuss your these kind of problems.
Right.
So when you are a student, or when you are living with your family a normal life, you have the small problems, or whatever problems you have at least people to discuss with. But at this stage, you cannot discuss your problem. People are always looking for, like, how you are doing all this stuff, and how I can snatch these things from you. So these are some kind of challenging works, because like, I'm a person who migrated from Bihari background to Delhi, and Delhi crowd is not very much accepting. Like, initially, it was not very much accepting this all, and I had to face so many challenges. Like, challenges started even from the very basic stage, when I was even like, when I rented my first warehouse for that in Dwarka. And like, though now have more than 14 warehouses in Delhi itself.
Wow.
But initially, when I was renting my first warehouse, this was I faced many problems from the local community also, and from, like, many challenges started happening. So being a CEO, there are many responsibilities that you have to bear, of course.
Absolutely, I totally agree, and I think you've what you've done is you've stood by what has come your way, and you've found solution, and that's a very very good thing about you. And the journey is just continuing. We're in the year 2021 and the year 2022. I'm sure that's exactly why you've been nominated for Padma Bhushan. So how does it feel? You are a nominee for Padma Bhushan. How did this come into your way?
Uh, Basically, some um, some of the MPs who thinks very good for me, like my well-wisher people, So there are some MPs who recommended me for this Padma award. And uh, basically, winning an award is not something that I am working for. I'm working for the community. I'm working for the
True.
people. So I want to build a new kind of generation for them, like the generation which will be very dependent, uh, and sorry, the generation which will be very independent, and the generation which can think in a different way, apart from this uh, apart from this traditional way of learning things, apart from this traditional way of walking in life. Because I see India is a very powerful country when it comes to the uh, comes into the terms of youth. And this power we are not able to harness. We are facing lots of brain drain. So even when I get to even when I come to my village segment of life, and even when I see this in cities, everywhere this is happening, people are always planning about like draining from this prosperous country to some different country for their personal benefits. So I'm trying to develop a culture so that the people will not be like draining like this, because like we are being taught from the very basic uh, see from the basic childhood. We are being taught in our schools and everywhere that life in foreign countries is this much fantastic, and life like this, if you study in school, if you get a college diploma, and then you apply for MNC or somewhere, then you are going to have a very successful career. But I see what like after you have got that career, is your life getting happy, or is your life getting like what you actually were planning about in your initial childhood days, or can you live freely? So you cannot. So there are so many ways in which we have to change the way we are being taught. We are being brainwashed by this you see mediocre mindset of our country. So I'm trying to like give them an example that without going to a school or without going to a college, you can do this much of great things in life. There is no necessity of having a degree hanging on your wall, because this is something that you are ultimately going to need at the time of your marriage only. Because even the companies even the companies are going to ask about the things about your skills only. So
True. True.
there is no need, I feel, about this.
I totally agree with you, especially from the last decade, what changes India has seen in general. It's a
Hmm.
very good change. It's given opportunities to people who did not really have a degree, and
Yeah.
because they're talented. And I think now,
There was always an opportunity to the people who don't have any degree. Because like take an example like Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk. So people will say they belong to America, and America is very supportive in this terms. No, America is not very supportive, because they also want degrees for the people to be giving contracts to. But when you are skilled enough, like you can get whatever you want at your plate. So don't get brainwashed by the system that this is the only system you have to walk through. Because every person is unique here, and everyone has capacity to shape their own destiny. Whatever they want, they can shape it, they can build it by themselves. So if this is the thing that you want in life, then why you are planning to go with the conventional route? People are always planning about having two boats. Like if this will drone, then I will be continuing my journey here on this boat. So in the practical life, even you cannot travel on two boats at the same time. Then why
true.
in the emotional, or why in the this planning, or somewhere you are carrying two boats always, this academic and the business, both things at the same time. So this is what I think. Like you were planning about entrepreneurship, just a board on the boat of entrepreneurship. When you are planning some academic career, like you want to be a teacher, you want to be a professor, then only go through the academics. Why just for the sake of earning money you are going through these routes? Like you might have read the book Rich Dad and Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So he has given so many beautiful examples about uh, making money and building a great career without conventional learning and without conventional education. Even when you want to build spacecrafts, everything is online. Like
True.
whatever you want to develop, you just have to go with certain websites and you will get to know all the stuff that you want to learn.
Absolutely. It's actually a very, it's an eye opener if you ask me what you spoke right now. And I'm glad you mentioned about the two different boats. If you want to be a champion or a superhero by the means of academic, you need to choose that boat and sail through it. But if you know you are you're not looking at the other academic boat, then sail into the other one where the skills, your talent is being honored, and you can develop more about your skills and make a life out of it. And one example right here with the Sumit Ranjan. Sumit Ranjan, I have one last question before I get into the common question with you and our representative partner. So you're a spiritual person.
Yeah.
So tell me about how has spirituality come into your, of course, back in Hazaribagh, you said you're in school, which was ashram school. Has it started from there? And how have you continued? And of course, हर दिन सुबह उठना पूजा करना and of course putting the जो आप टीका लगाते हो इसके बारे में थोड़ा बताइए. I'm sure you might have got a lot of questions about this, but for our audience here at ET platform, would love to know what is the story behind it.
We are no different from the spiritual world. We are of course the spiritual beings already, and when you are so much connected with the spiritual things, then whatever you want you can do with greater strength. So I'm gonna give you one example from the scriptures itself. There is a term called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is a complete way of living life. So the first part of Ashtanga Yoga is called Yama. Yama means clear your all social affairs. Like you have to keep them all clear. Like don't fight with anybody, don't think bad about anybody. This all comes into the Yama. So when a person is following this one thing only, Yama, like minding your own business, then that person is of course going to be more and more focused about the career. The first thing. Second thing, when you are practicing niyama in your career, so niyama says wake up at 3:45 a.m. in the morning and do your basic activities like daily needs within half an hour or so. Like just get free by 4:30 and start studying. Even you can experience it by yourself. When you wake up by 3:45 a.m., miraculous things happen in our nature. And like by that time, you see, like in the night time when the sun sets, like just after the Godhuli Muhurta, what happens? You will see all kinds of venomous insects and all kinds of venomous animals and the scavengers, etc., are all out in the night. And by 3:45 a.m., they start going back to their domiciles. So when you are ready by this time, you will feel so much fresh and energetic about your day. And when you start your day, like even by studying a book, you will easily be able to study 60-70 pages at a time, like with continuous focus, like whatever content you were studying. By 7 o'clock or so, you will be ready for your official work. So for many people, they are waking up by 7 o'clock and it's already your afternoon time. You have saved so much of time just by practicing the simple thing, niyama. And by the end of the day, you have accomplished so much that even normal people cannot even think about. You see, so this is how spirituality impacts your life just by practicing these two things. Then comes the asana. Asana asks you to do basic exercises and do all kinds of breathing activities, etc. So this all comes in the asana. Then comes the dharan. Dharan means when you want to do something in life, you have to capture that in your mind first. Like you have to think about the same idea time and again, like dharan karna, like dharan. So you have done this dharanam, this is also the spiritual thing. And then comes the dhyana. So you focus on the same thing, that how you are going to achieve your dharana. And then comes the samadhi, like you have attained your ultimate goal that you are always willing for. So this Ashtanga Yoga comes from the Bhagavad Gita. So this is how scriptures can impact your life beautifully. So when people say, I don't want to live a spiritual life, okay, well, you are not going to live a spiritual life, but still you will follow a basic routine if you want to do something in life. The basic routine is itself taught in the scriptures. So how you can say that you are not going to lead the spiritual life? And also, I'm very much connected with Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva teaches us many good lessons. He teaches us not to be disturbing the nature. He itself is a Shanti Murti, and he itself carries the complete nature. How he is controlling the Ganga or the water on his head. So he says, like, water is something of the eminent respect. We should be treating water the same way.
True.
So we should ensure that when we are making some industry, or when we are doing something in life, we make sure that we don't pollute the water bodies. At least we should give it the eminent respect. 70% of our body is water itself. So water. So this is how Lord Shiva is so much connected. Like, he is carrying the snakes or all kinds of poisonous animals on his neck. So like, when you come down, like, in the structure of Lord Shiva, you will see complete nature he is carrying on his own body. So this is how a human being should be imagining the entire surrounding as the expansion of Shiva, and he can be taking care of all the surrounding in a very better way. From conserving the land to conserving the animals to ensuring the purity of water, air, and all other things. So this is how, like, we can be living so much connected with the natural stuffs.
So wonderful listening to you, Sumit. That's very, very incredible. And I love the knowledge that you have. And I love that how you seek so much. You're always a good seeker. And your studies, how much of the amount of books you've read, the amount of knowledge that you have that talks about your presence right now. And it's only going to become stronger in the coming years. And I wish you all the best for what is going to come ahead. And as you mentioned, it's all about the practice, and spirituality is nothing but a routine that you maintain in a day.
Not
And
just in, one more thing is there in spirituality. I mentioned about the theory in which I mentioned that why the speed of light is constant. The same theory expands to black holes also. So when I come about like knowing the structure of a black hole, so I in my initial days I used to study lots of quantum mechanics also, and also the statistical state of the particles as well. So these all equations that I've been through, like even in class 11th, when you study the de Broglie equation, the wave particle duality equation, or the Heisenberg theorem, everything is there in the Shiv Purana. There is a book called Shiv Purana, yeah, and there is another book called Markandeya Purana. So I got to study these two books 2 years back. So I got highly motivated about how these kind of knowledge is already engraved in the mantras. So when you read the translated mantras, then they convey the meaning based on your day-to-day activities, day-to-day life. But when you get to study about when you get to translate these mantras by yourself, like not being translated by somebody else, then you will get to know that there are very many scientific knowledge is hidden inside it. So even the theory about the speed of light and these all stuffs are already hidden in the scriptures. Then what is the need of, like, I think exploring so much and here and there? Why don't we just sit and just study the scriptures, and we will get to know everything. The number
absolutely.
108 that we use, yeah, 108 that we use in our day-to-day chanting. The 108 is the same number when you rotate the earth, like 108 times, then this will get to meet the sun. Like, this is the distance between earth and sun when you rotate it 108 times. And the same thing
Oh,
applies to moon as
wow.
well. Yeah.
So
When
you're
you rotate
saying,
moon 108
let me understand, Shiv, Sumit, let me understand this, okay? So you mean to say if Earth is a ball, which is indeed is a ball, if it
yeah,
rotates 360 x 108 times, it will reach sun.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, that is very insightful. That's very new for me. I have not understood this. I always thought, the energies in the body, the different, there are total number of 114 chakras. In that,
Yes,
111 chakras are outside your body, and
yes,
111 chakras is inside your body. Out of which 11 chakras are not active chakras, and 808 chakras are active chakras. That's why you chant 108 times. Is what I have learned and heard and read about. But this is very, very interesting, very, very new. Thank you so much, Sumit. Sumit, we can have a new chat altogether, a proper 1 hour session here about spirituality, because I'm a keen lover of it, and I believe so. And I totally understand from the mediums you are talking about. And you'll not believe it, but I have a connect. I have a friend from Nevada. His name is Ashutosh Ranjan, who is
okay,
just as you look like. And it was when I saw you first, I'm like, okay, I'm almost talking to my best friend. So it's very delightful to be talking to you about this.
thank you.
And Economic Times Cutting Chest story is giving flavors, just not about what a leader can do or what leader does, but sometimes Economic Times Cutting Chest gives you insight about a person and what their beliefs are. And today, talking to you about the different prospect from the black hole to the scientific connection to 108 times Earth being rotated to the touchdown of Sun, to talk about spirituality, to talk about your college and early days and your love for science. I think that's exactly what Cutting Chai is all defined. So thank you so much for joining us here. I'm going to quickly connect to our representative partner for a common question and then take you ahead. And I'm very delightful to welcome right now with us, and that is going to be Head Large and Medium Enterprise, Lenovo India, Mr. Aditya Agarwal with us. Mr. Aditya, hi, welcome
Hi.
again to Cutting Chai. I'm sure you did hear Sumit Ranjan, and it was not one of those regular Cutting Chai story जहाँ पर हम बस काम के बारे में बात करते हैं. It was about an insightful about much more about life, and it certain things Sumit has said, which is clearly an eye opener. I love the explanation of the two boat he mentioned. I love the thought that the skills are with you. It's about how you direct it, how you are narrating it to proceed ahead and achieve more. So with that, I have a quick question. That's a common question. First, let me start from our representative, Aditya. Aditya, 2021 has been a challenging year. You know about it. We have all gone through the unprecedented COVID times. But 2022, what are the challenges that's going to be faced? And with the new variants coming every 6 months, the fear in a human mind that is dwelling anxiety and much more. So, what is your take on the challenges and about the year 2021?
Yeah, so I'll put my take more on technology because I'm sure there's a human angle, which I think Sumit is definitely gonna cover, right? But from a technology angle, one, I'm hoping that 2022 is gonna be better, right? That it's been 2 years since we have all been locked up, and I'm hoping it is better. So the challenges that I see is that before the whole corona era, we had work from office, and now we have work from home, and somehow this hybrid needs to work better, right? That how do we make the work from home and office happen at the same time, right? How do we manage this is a technology. And second is going to be whole thing on security. We are seeing a lot of incidents. We are seeing that how do we, when we manage this, how does the whole security piece play out? But if you ask me, the biggest thing that we are going to see, at least in work, is how do we make work from anywhere happen? People are used to it now. They want to work from coffee shops, they want to work from homes, they want to work from offices. How do we make it happen in a secure and seamless way? That's the challenge. Of course, there's a health challenge which will always be there.
Absolutely. I think I like how you mentioned, how people are getting used to different places to work from, and about health challenges. I think that's part and parcel of life. It starts with it, it ends with it. So, Sumit, your take on challenges as Aditya gave us a tech front industry prospect. What is your perception towards the year 2021, and what is that we need to be prepared for in the upcoming years?
Okay, so initially when the corona started in 2000, back in 2019, uh, we started we took so many initiatives about like when we saw so many people are losing jobs, because there was a situation of panic everywhere. Even in my factory, we had so much of loss. We encountered so much of loss because our staffs, basically the workers which were working there as a mechanic or as a technician, they all fled away to their hometowns, and this was some of the very big challenges that entire industry was facing initially. There was no such culture about work from home, or even the hardcore manufacturing work cannot work like that. Uh, even I saw so many people were facing issues, including for their day to day activities. Even so initially, I gathered over 127 household women's together, and I gave them a task of making COVID face shield initially. Like, I got the initial order of making the face shield from DRDO, and then like after that I started uh, making the face shield by myself, like with as the initiative of Kosarian, and we gave the face shield to various district magistrate to distribute in their district, and so over 127 women's got at least employed for the duration till the corona lockdown happened. So in that duration, all those 127 women's made over 70,000 face shields that we
Wow.
distributed in the local authorities and to the government departments. And after that, to their husbands. We took over 60 people, like the number was around 58 or so. So we took over 60 people, and we started making COVID testing booths that we installed in all the government hospitals of Haryana, because doctors were so much impacted in the initial stage. I saw uh, even when the corona phase was there, they were highly, like scared to go to the hospitals to see the patients. So even the patients who are not affected by corona were highly getting affected by this issue. For those doctors, we installed the booths in the government hospital. So over 300 COVID booths we installed in the entire country. Uh, in the IGI airport also, we installed a COVID booth and facility, so that the tourists that are coming in that duration doesn't gets impacted. Uh, like, it got easy because doctors were getting a place in which once they enter inside the chamber, it gets sanitized and corona free, and they were getting a glass a barrier through which they can be checking their patients by inserting their hands into the gloves, and they can be doing all the testing, including corona testing, to all the basic testing, including using the stethoscope, taking the body temperature of the patient, and all the necessary stuffs got very easy with the COVID booths that we developed. So like in 2000 till 2020, we kept on doing this initiative, and we also installed so many corona tunnels in various different places.
Oh,
In
wow.
2021, the need of this decreased because people got many people got vaccinated, people got so much confident also. Doctors, initially the fear that the doctors were having with themselves, it got all gone, and they started going to their regular schedule, and everything came in balance. Like, people learned somehow to live with the disease, live with the virus. So in 2022, what I feel like in the aspect of technology is people are going to be people are going to be enrolling so many different uh, uh, like stuffs, like software resources and so many different stuffs about managing their business, about managing their work. And even I also started using so many different new softwares that were not existing like initially in the if we go 2 years back or so. This kind of changes that we see, like, which are happening right now.
Thank you, Sumit. That is also very true of what you've done, including the 127 women, and achieved a lot more.